Luc Bouchard with Solvac Life Coaching Services. I've been a certified life skills coach for 22 years, and I specialize in men's issues, what keeps men stuck, and how come they have intimacy issues. Today is the 42nd day of the 72-day challenge. We're in the 6th week, and our weekly theme is intimacy. Our daily focus is the life skills process, and the topic is power and control issues. Welcome back, and I'm so glad you're watching this video. Power and control issues. What does that mean? Well, when people engage in power and control issues, it's generally seen as any kind of behaviors which get in the way of healthy functioning relationships, where one person is really dominating or controlling. And I have a whole list of indicators or behaviors that would fall under the power and control issues. And I'm going to read them out, so excuse me while I don't look at the screen, at the video camera. So examples of power and control issues are being pushy, being bossy, dominating conversations, dominating others, using put downs. Being opinionated is one way of power and control issues, because you're telling other people what you think all the time. Manipulation. Not being able to let things go is another way of power and control. Passive aggressiveness, aggression, or out-and-out violence is a power and control issue. Using money or withholding resources within relationships is a way of power and control. Using sex as a weapon, withholding sex, or sexual aggression is another power and control issue. Sarcasm is often seen as power and control. Embarrassing people publicly is a way of actually engaging in power and control. And addictions is actually quite a power and control issue. So people who engage in power and control issues, I have found in my experience, have very little personal power themselves. And what they're doing is that they're going externally to try and fulfill something that they don't have internally. So the idea is that I don't have it within myself. I don't feel good about myself. So what I have to do is I have to try and control the field, try and go externally to make sure everything is in its place, make sure everything's working the way it should, because then I have actually power in my world. My world's predictable, and my world is certain. And if you don't feel safe with an uncertain world, if you don't feel safe with a world that seems out of control, because you're internally you're out of control, so you need to control others. Generally, that's why people engage in power and control issues, because they want to try and get some kind of predictability through this false sense of control. And generally what it's really about is esteem issues or low self-esteem. Examples of where I've seen power and control issues in my practice are things going to be about people who have relationship problems. It often comes up. Employment problems, there's a lot of power and control issues with that, and generally conflict with others. And whether a client is trying to control others or you're being controlled by others, that's another form of power control, is when you're allowing yourself to be controlled by others. So my question is, for the audience who's listening to this, how do you engage in power control? Do you do it in a healthy way where you have good boundaries, where you're just basically asserting yourself, saying, no, I'm not okay with that? Or are you trying to control the field? Conversely, are you one that is being subjected to other people's power and control issues? And why is that? How come, if you have people in your life that are controlling you, how come you're allowing yourself to be controlled? How come you're allowing yourself to be manipulated or having people power over you? And power and control issues, once you start to know what you're seeing, and once you to know what you're looking at, and you start watching people, you see it's everywhere. It really is quite predominant in our society. We see it a lot in popular culture, on TV shows and in movies. A lot of people with power and control issues, and that is often what I mentioned earlier, is about passive aggressiveness, is really about power and control. And it is something that is pervasive in our society. And what else is very pervasive is how many people are controlled by others' power and control issues. Most, like, a lot of relationships that you see, conflictual relationships between parents and their children, are power and control. And I'm not talking like children who are 18 and younger. I'm talking relationships with parents and adult children. And it's this, mother-daughters is one. It happens with fathers and sons. But it really is, it's there all over, it's there a lot. And all you have to do is look for it, and it kind of comes up fairly quickly if you know what you're looking for. But how this plays into this week's theme of intimacy is that when you have power and control issues, you're generally not going to have intimate relationships with people because no one wants to be controlled. And people may seem like they are being intimate, but if they're fearful of how you're going to act, or if they feel like they can only act a certain way with you because of that it has to be your way or it has to be someone's way, that's not true intimacy. That's not true connection with people. That is, oh, I have to put up with this person, so I'm going to act this way. And ultimately, it's not an authentic relationship. The word you hear me talk a lot about is authenticity. So I really encourage people that when I see that they have power and control issues is to really look at internally what's going on for them. What are they trying to get externally so they can feel better internally? And that's really what I do with people when I talk about when I do a life skills process with them and I do a coaching with them is really what do you lack internally that you're trying to fill externally? And until people actually look at that, they're going to keep doing it. And they're going to keep having conflictual relationships with others and having a problem with others because they're going to keep acting out. Because power and control is a form of acting out. You have no self-control, personal control, personal power, so you're going externally. And if you want to have good relationships with people and you act that way, you won't have good relationships. You won't have you won't have good relationships with healthy people because healthy people won't put up with it, or they're going to tell you what they think, and then there's more conflict because you're stepping on their boundaries. So that's what I have to say about power and control. I hope you have a good day, and I will see you soon. Tomorrow is the creativity day, and then the day after that is interviews, and then we're into a whole new week. So I will talk to you soon, and this is Luc Bouchard with Solve Act Life Coaching Services, where I've been a certified life skills coach for 22 years, and I've had my share of power and control issues. I know this topic well because of it comes true to me, and I'm working on it. I really am. Okay, take care.